Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and today we're back with weekly update number 128. So let's jump right into it. We're going to kick things off with week in review. This is where I talk about what's been going on in the warehouse lately, things that are coming up, stuff like that. And I guess first off, it's been a busy week. We've got a bunch of restocks this week. We had a restock on Tuesday, a smaller one, and we're going to have a fairly sizable restock today on Friday. Won't be in the restock section since we're not doing that anymore, but definitely go check that out. There's a lot of good stuff, but that's led to a lot more work on the check-in side. We had, I think, 4 decent sized shipments show up this week, plus the smaller one for the Tuesday restock. So we've been busy on that end, and we also had a few people out, planned and unplanned absences. And so with that whole combination, it's made for an interesting week. We've gotten through everything kind of okay. It hasn't really been too big of an issue, but it's interesting how sometimes we've got weeks that are a lighter week. There's less stuff coming in, maybe less orders to ship out because there wasn't a big restock that week, and we might be fully staffed. And then we've got the following week when things are super busy and we could use all the help we could get, and some of that help just isn't available due to whatever. We're getting through it. Nothing like, a few months ago where we had a backlog of orders or anything like that. We're keeping up with it all, but it's made for a little bit of an interesting week. Moving on from that though, I guess the next thing is the 2023 Discord Challenge coin. I'll actually be right back. So if you're not aware, we've had these Discord Challenge coins 3 years running now. The 2023 coin is our 4th one. We did the first one back in 2020, clearly themed for the pandemic, and it was kind of when the business took off and grew. And then from there, we just kept doing them every year. It's like an annual thing, usually this time of year. There's a 2021 coin, and then the 2022 coin. So we're doing 2023. That coin, the order form is up. It's a Discord-only challenge coin for Discord members. So if you are a Discord member, there's a link in the announcements channel. You can go fill out the form to request coin numbers, and it's got all the rules for all of that. The ordering deadline is today, Friday, the day that you're watching this. If you're seeing this when it comes out, at midnight Eastern time next week, we'll be assigning coin numbers, figuring out how many we're ordering, and then invoicing everybody for the coins. They're $15 each shipped. The only way to select a coin number is through that pre-ordering process. But I'm really excited about it. The coin design for this year, I think, is really cool. It's probably already showed up on screen somewhere. But yeah, it's excited about doing a 4th coin. And if you want one, now is your chance. If you're not a Discord member, remember, you have to make a purchase to become a Discord member. If you've purchased from us before, you should have received an invite link either by SMS or by email, depending on when you did it. And if you did get a link and it's invalid because maybe it expired, or you didn't get a link, maybe it went to your spam folder or something like that, you can email support@mechawarehouse.com, ideally with an order number or from the email address you've ordered with, and we can get you an invite, and you can join, and then you'll be able to find that link and sign up to order one. Next up, we're doing a spring cleaning, spring clearance kind of sale over the next few weeks. There's a specific collection for that. The link will be down below in the description. This week we started it off with some Mecha Warehouse merch, some t-shirts and patches and hats and things like that. We'll be adding items to that every week. I think those items are like 25% off right now. So we expect to be adding to that collection other things that we're trying to get out for spring clearance, just trying to make space for all the shipments that are coming in and things like that. So definitely take a look at that every week whenever you're ordering, because maybe there's something good in there that you want and you can get it at a good price. There'll be varying discounts. They'll apply automatically in the cart, and they should all kind of work together in the cart with your other orders. Next up, this weekend's Easter. For Easter, we're doing a special sale. Had a creative idea this week. We're going to do basically an Easter egg hunt sale. So what that means is we're going to have 15% off select items. We are not providing a collection for which those items are. So there's no easy, just go look at what those items are. But any item that is on sale with the Easter egg sale is going to have an Easter egg image for the second picture. So if you hover over it, it'll show you that Easter egg image. If you go on the product page, you'll be able to see that Easter egg image. And you can also go to the Sale Hub page, which will also be linked down below. We've got a series of riddles for each of those Easter eggs. So you can go check out that riddle. It'll give you a hint for where to maybe look on the website, what kind of products to search for to find some of those items. So hopefully this will be kind of a little bit of a fun activity. If you find any of them or all of them, post them on social media. The hashtag is MW Egg Hunt, hashtag MW Egg Hunt, right here across the screen. Post that, see if you can find them all. We're going to select one or more lucky winners who use that hashtag over the weekends to give away a gift card or two over the weekend. So hopefully you guys can have some fun with that. And I guess finally, the last one is probably the biggest news, is that Kate and I are expecting our third child later this year. September, I think, late September is the time frame that we're expecting our third child, and so that's super exciting. Definitely going to force us to have to figure out the how to take time off thing by then, because Kate's definitely going to be out for at least a little while with that, and I'm obviously probably going to be unavailable for at least a few days in that window. So that's exciting. Big changes in our life, big changes, I think, with the business, and I don't know, be interesting to see what that holds, but we're obviously really excited about it. Okay, that's it for week in review. So let's move on to, normally we would go on to pre-orders. There were no new pre-orders on the website this week. Next up is team picks. So this is where members of the team show off some of their recent builds and products that we have in stock that maybe you haven't heard of. So let's go and do that.
So my choice this week is the Master Grade Verka New Gundam. Personally, favorite mobile suit, so I kind of wanted to push the limits of how far I could paint it and what to do. So did a full repaint top to bottom. I only kept the navy blue color in it from the stock kit just because I really like the color. And from there just went darker, more stealthy, and kind of what I would want if I had a new Gundam.
Today I brought in the Tyrell Beetle from the Metabots. It's a Kotobukiya line. I've always been a fan of the Metabots show, so when I saw they had kits, I knew I just had to try to get as many of them I could. Tyrell Beetle is not super familiar to me, but I love the way it looks. It's got the massive backpack with the stag beetle horns. The blue and the yellow color scheme go very well together. It's got interchangeable eyes. It's got effect parts on the arms. The thing's got a lot going on with it. It's very nice.
All right, so I brought in the Choo Choo Demi Trainer from Witch and gave it a little custom paint job, a little camo green on black, and then I also gave it some nice brown tones underneath it. Super fun kit. I will say though, the hip joints are a little not the best I've ever had, but once you paint them, they stick together pretty well. So, good kit.
All right, that's it for team picks. Now let's do Q&A. So this is the part where I answer questions from you, the viewer. If you have a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer it next week. Let's just jump right into it. We got a handful of questions this week. First one from Truck Buoy. Question, any chance of having a private warehouse system like HobbyLink Japan? Love the daily deals and weekly restocks, new releases, but hesitant to order single kits. So this is a great question. It's a question that gets asked fairly regularly. So we've considered it multiple times. There was a period where we were very seriously considering it. In fact, every time we have considered it, we come back to the main fact or the main issue with it is that the logistics for offering a private warehouse it's a huge challenge. It's not super simple because there's no built-in plugin for Shopify to do it. So we'd have to maybe either create some sort of technology thing there or figure out a workaround in order to enable us to do it. And as it is, things like pre-orders and tracking stuff that's already here and in stock but committed to another order often will create headaches, issues, because we can't ship that item. We got to do inventory. We have to factor all that stuff in when we do counts. It takes up space. Likely a private warehouse would mean that we're interacting with those customers on a more engaged, regular basis, hey, can I add this to my private warehouse? Hey, can I ship everything in my private warehouse? Can I ship these things from my private warehouse? And that combination of factors has led us to not do it because we're kind of at a scale where that's a big deal. If we were a tiny shop, I think I would consider it again. Although being tiny means there's those headaches can be bigger headaches for other reasons, maybe due to space or manpower issues. But it's too much of a challenge right now for us to do, and I don't think the benefit outweighs the cost, if that makes sense. Our shipping isn't that expensive. We're potentially looking at other shipping options that will allow us to maybe offer free shipping tiers and stuff like that. We're looking into how we might be able to do that in the coming weeks and months. But for now, private warehouse, I think, is off the table and likely for the foreseeable future. But great question, though. It's always good to be able to answer that one again, because it's definitely a question lots of people have. Next up, Dolfo, do you see Mecha Warehouse branching out? A lot of things I've learned through Gunpla have daisy chained into other hobbies. I went from snap builder to airbrushing, photography, miniatures, garage kits, etc., all because of random HG heavy arms I saw at Target. Great question. So short answer is yes. We've been trying to focus in the near term, the most immediate term, on just kind of consolidating our position, so to speak, with all the supply chain changes that we've been dealing with over the last few months, and trying to make sure that we've got that part figured out. Our next goal is going to be to add some new tool and paint and accessory lines, and then possibly branching out from there. For example, miniatures would be interesting. Games Workshop stuff would be a great product line to carry. I think there's some crossover in the audience, and it would be a good one to go after. And I think we have some options for getting that in. Garage kits, resin, etc. would be good. And then there's other places we can go from there. So I would expect over the next year or two, we'll start kind of expanding our horizons on what we're offering. We're trying to do it in a sustainable way, though, because of the supply chain stuff opening up and making sure we've got the budget, the space, the logistics, all that stuff kind of figured out as we grow those product lines and add to what we offer. So definitely keep an eye out for those kinds of things. We will be doing that as time goes on. All right. Next up, plastic germs questions. Do you think Americans dislike the GBWC? If so, why? Also, what could be learned from past GBWC events? I don't know that Americans dislike it. I think certain ones probably do, but I feel like certain people anywhere probably do, because everybody's different. Everybody has different opinions on everything. I don't think the U.S. has ever won GBWC or even placed really close to the top. I don't know exactly why that is. I haven't really followed it super closely, but so I don't think that they necessarily do. Certain people do, because I think there have been complaints about judging at times and things like that, but that's any sort of judged event. Everyone's never going to be happy about the way something is judged when it's a subjective call. Just look at the Super Bowl or major sporting events. People are always more than happy to complain about the referees and the calls they make. So I expect that to kind of always be the case. As far as what can be learned from past GBWC events, there's lots of creative ideas in there. Definitely some good execution. So always a great place to pull inspiration from, because some of the builds for GBWC have been incredible. It also, for a competing in GBWC perspective, I would imagine, like, if I was going to attempt a run at GBWC, I would probably study the past, 10 years and see what has performed well, what kinds of themes, ideas, techniques, just to see, because if the judging team's the same, if they're predisposed to certain things, I would be trying to game it as much as I can and understand what they like and what they reward and don't reward, I guess. Fun question, favorite place to vacation? So I don't know if it's I guess I'll say it that way. The one place I really would love to go right now is Japan. I want to be able to take a trip to Japan, have it not be tied necessarily to something like a tournament or other work-related things, so I can just tour the places I want to tour, see the country, and enjoy it. my favorite trip ever was my trip to Japan, and I would love to do that again. So I guess that's the answer to that question. All right, one more. Victory Amber. How to find out about all the Gundam cons around the US? So this is a great question. I don't know if this is kind of related to our talk about ODO and ValleyCon, because I don't know that there's a lot of quote-unquote Gundam cons, but the IPMS events, they're all across the US. Theoretically, they're everywhere else too, because I think it's the International Plastic Modeler Society. But here in the US, we'll put the link down in the description. There is a page which has all the events for IPMS across the country listed. You can sort by state, region, things like that, and you can look. Some of them will have Gundam categories. Some might just have a general sci-fi category, which should accept Gundam if they don't have a specific Gundam category. And that would be the best place to look. Other than that, just kind of searching around online. I'm sure that there's a bunch of other Gundam-specific events in places. SCGMC, for example, the Southern California Gundam Model Competition out in the LA area. They have that every year, and that is specific to Gundam and Mecha modeling. And I'm sure there's some much smaller ones. A lot of those you'll just have to kind of search around and peruse on the internet. So I think that's it for questions. Like I said before, if you have a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer next time. Thank you for watching. See you next time.